Welcome to History Adventuring. This is episode number 220. I'm Brad Hall, and today we're looking at confusing rules and regulations as Phoenix got more crowded. One thing that everyone has always said about Phoenix, and has always been true, is how crowded it got over the years. And the crowding brought a lot of confusing rules and regulations, which must have been frustrating for people who really never saw any reason for it. And as someone who's lived in crowded cities, like Los Angeles, it's been difficult for me to be sympathetic to people who can't seem to understand what seems to be the basic rules of living in a crowded city. That is, until very recently. I grew up in a very congested and crowded neighborhood in Minneapolis, with such tiny streets that you really had to watch very carefully what you were doing. If you just stopped on, for example, Bloomington Avenue, there would be no way for anyone to get around you. It was a two-way street with traffic that was always coming the other way, and there were big snowbanks, well, most of the time, on the other side of the street. Oh yeah, and there were always lots of complex signs that allowed parking at some times, but not others, to allow for the snowplows. We get a lot of snow in Minneapolis. So when I moved to Phoenix, and especially Tempe, where I went to ASU, I really had no trouble with the rules and regulations that I saw. If a sign said, "No parking," I wouldn't park there. It seemed simple enough. And my attitude towards people who didn't know what to do in a crowded city got even worse when I moved to Los Angeles. Every once in a while I would see someone, dazed and confused, blocking northbound traffic on Topanga, sitting across 3 lanes, waiting for a break in southbound traffic so that they could turn left. I was never a road rage person, but I would mutter to them under my breath, "You're in the city now." Now I'm thinking about the number of new rules and regulations that hit Phoenix, especially after cars started becoming very popular. There were stop signs and street signs, and people would get upset with you if you simply drove the wrong way down the street for just a few feet. And if you couldn't find a parking spot, you just park your car next to another parked car, and then later on find out that there's a rule against double parking. The list must have gone on, and I'm sure that you can think of a lot more. Speaking for myself, I try hard to be good. I don't expect to be perfect, but I try darned hard. If I get something wrong, it's embarrassing, and I'm glad that I didn't hurt anyone with my mistake. I try to make a note of what to do next, and mostly I try to stop and read the signs. I've always preferred living in the city, not in the country, and that's part of the price that I pay. This has been History Adventuring. I'll talk to you later.